How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Remember that cheapy bidet I reviewed last year? It didn't have any heating function, so I used it all throughout winter. Well, it turns out I was able to withstand it. However, using this really cold water in the winter, it really does kind of numb you up a little bit, but I sort of got used to it, right? It's not the most comfortable, but you know, it will do. So today, it's kind of like a weird thing, me reviewing bidets of all things, right? You expect a toilet channel, if there is such a thing, or a bidet channel to review something like this. In this case, it's more like kind of increasing your standard of living type of thing. So anyway, you guys don't have to worry. This is brand new. It didn't touch any toilet stuff. That's why I'm able to put it around T-Rex if I ever install it, even just once, right? Even if I clean it, I'm not going to put it back on this couch over here. This is completely brand new. So the whole premise of me switching from using toilet paper to using a bidet was really to cut down on using toilet paper, and it did. To me, it felt like I used about half as much, and the amount of toilet paper I use drastically reduced. Now this one's called the BidetMega. I will be installing it in this video and also testing it out. It's like this fancy one, much more fancier than the one I already installed. Now, aside from saving money and all that, I did notice something that's very important with using this thing, because if you go number 2 or whatever, right? It's actually really dirty if you do not use any water. Some people actually prefer that after you go to number 2, you use soap and water to get it, you know, squeaky clean like you took a shower. But bidet, just spray some water, is at least better than just using toilet paper. Now, in order to illustrate this, let me use some peanut butter, okay? This is not real poo or anything. Let me show you guys what I mean. Okay, I got some peanut butter over here. I'm gonna put some on to my skin over here. Just kind of all over, I know. Peanut butter, all right? Peanut butter. And so I'm gonna split this off into 2 sides like this. And this side is your butt. We're gonna wipe it clean. And this side, we're gonna spray it with some water. Now, it's hard to see on the surface the difference over here, but if I use my finger, I can feel there's an oily residue over here. Whereas if I use another finger and touch this, it feels very soft and smooth and not oily. If I go back over here, I can definitely feel there's something oily. Yeah, see, look, there's a little bit of stuff left here. So this is realistically what's on your butt, and generally, this is full of bacteria. Whereas at least on this side, it's a little bit cleaner. I know it's a little weird to talk about number 2 hygiene, but when I first started using this bidet thing, it felt so, I don't know, invasive. It felt really, really weird, but you get used to it, and then you start to realize, wow, this really is cleaner. And what I noticed before is if you only use toilet paper, you might start to get irritated, right? Whereas with a bidet where you spray water and stuff, it gets a lot cleaner and there's no issue of this irritation. Everybody has to do this kind of stuff, and unfortunately, in your intestines, right, there's a lot of bacteria going on, and if it lands on your skin, it may cause irritation. So with that said, I actually have not tried this one out. I have a cheaper version that only sprays cold water. This one is going to spray some warm water. So let me install this first, and then I'm gonna come back and talk about what I think about this thing. First thing you gotta do, uninstall the old one. I really don't like to touch the toilet, so I'm gonna use these gloves. Unlock. I just removed the hose, 2 bolts on these things, and this comes right off. On the back of this thing, there's this bracket, it seems, and it locks into place with these little hook things. There's this button here, you push it in, and it locks in place. And I need to install this plate onto the toilet first, and then slide this thing on there. Looks like this. I don't know quite yet how far in this should go, so I'm just going to eyeball it, and then snap it into place. Connect the supply line, tighten it a little bit. There's also this one that's coming from the wall into the tank, and then I have this T thing that's previously installed. So put this in here, turn the water back on. It also had all these other connector things for different supplies. So now we have the problem of trying to connect this into the wall. If your bathroom is prepared for a bidet. It's gonna have like a little socket near your bathroom. But mine doesn't have something like this, so I gotta find a way to connect this. So I'm gonna snakes down there, connect it to this extension cord. Here is the front panel, rear, front for ladies, soothing wash. I don't know what that means. Child, rinse nozzle, nozzle position, water pressure, water temperature, seat temperature. Ooh, drying. This might reduce your toilet paper usage even more by not having any toilet paper. Move it, eco mode, extract nozzle, power. Oh, I can power it off so it won't be using the heater, I think. So I don't like my electronics to consume a lot of electricity while it's not being used. So I'm gonna plug it into this kilowatt thing. It's hard for you guys to see, but I can read it from over here. Wow, 0 watts? What's going on here? This is neat. This is less than 1/10 of a watt. The LEDs are on, so it's consuming something, but just less than 0.1 of a watt, which is the resolution of my kilowatt. But I'm gonna turn it off anyway. Press and hold power. 2-3 seconds. It turned off. It consumed about 0.3 watts for a split second, and then it went to 0. So I'm gonna turn it on. It consumed 0.3 watts for a while. So this is really great. This is something that I did not expect this thing to do, which is consume less than a watt. Because generally consumer electronics, they just kind of go, oh, a watt, that's nothing. But being under 0.1 watt is a huge deal for me, because this means that I will leave this thing plugged in and I don't have to keep on plugging it in and unplugging it every single time I want to use this thing. This is great. So now I'm gonna sit on this thing. I turned on the seat temperature and it suddenly drew 53 watts. And I can press it again for hotter. Okay, it looks like there's a lot of functions on this thing. I actually need to use it a little bit so I can talk more intelligently about it. I have my pants on this toilet seat, so I'm gonna use it and then get back to you guys. One moment. I'm gonna not use it on camera this time. I had this plastic one on there already, this T-joint. This thing didn't mesh too well with this plastic one, so I had to put in this T connector that came with this Bidetmega. Okay, so I've got a clear plastic over here so it won't screw it up. I learned last time that you don't push these buttons unless you got some shielding or going on, or else you're gonna have a magic fountain in your face. So I'm gonna turn this on. And then this thing has a sensor, so it won't turn on unless, you know, you're sitting on it. So I'm pretending to sit on it. Now we see there's some sort of water going on inside. I guess it's flushing it a little bit. I'm gonna push the rear button. Oh, there we go. Okay, we see there's like a stainless steel thing over there. I'm gonna change the nozzle position. You can see how it changes position when I go do that. And then I can change the pressure. This is the lowest. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna do this soothing wash. So I'm not sure what it's gonna do here. All right. It looks like it's varying the pressure, but not necessarily moving it up and down. Okay, if you push it too fast, it's not going to do anything, so I'm going to do the rear. And if I push move, okay, it goes up and down like about one position. I'm going to stop it. The move, it's kind of like doing this. Up, down, like that. Okay, let's see what the front does. I'm doing the front. Oh. Okay, so it looks like it's extending. I don't know, it shoots it a little bit more forward. I'm gonna stop it. So I'm gonna push clean nozzle now. I don't know what it's gonna do. It's cleaning itself basically. What if I push clean bidet? It looks like it's doing something internally. I can't see what it's doing right now. So I'm gonna push dry now. It's like this air, it's not quite as strong as a hair dryer. You can use that to kind of dry the rest of the way. If I turn on the rear, it's doing 5.5 watts. And then if I want it warm, seat temperature, you can see over here on the lower left, my kilowatt says 53 watts. I'm gonna turn on the water temperature. It's gonna be warm. Now it has, quite a bit, 827 watts. So it's heating the water. It's using a lot of electricity to heat the water over here. And it's gonna be warm when it comes out. So there's a Bidetmega for you. And most of the time, whenever I review these products, I'm kind of hesitant. I am not sure if it's going to satisfy my strict requirements of being very low power. And I'm just kind of blown away that this product will actually consume very, very little. It's not even registered on my kilowatt. So therefore, I feel very good by just leaving this plugged in all the time. It's not gonna go around heating the water all the time and losing electricity and just kind of costing a lot every single year just to maintain. If you guys are interested in this product, I'll leave the product link down in the video description below. Don't forget to give me a like, comment down below. Let me know what you think of using bidets. Do you think it's kind of gross? Because I know some people just absolutely refuse to use these things, but I think it's kind of like the way of the future. You gotta accept it. It kind of feels weird, but then once you start using, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so clean. Why haven't I done this before? This is exactly how I think about it, because before using it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's weird. I tried it out once, right? And I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And then it took like many years before I could actually go back and sort of like say, hey, this is not bad. I'm gonna, keep on trying it, kind of be accepting to it. It's actually a lot cleaner. And as always, don't forget to push that subscribe button and ring that bell icon. Thanks for watching.